Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Johnny. And if you're here, maybe you're interested in learning a little bit more about how you can make money with tarot. And so I decided to do a collaboration with Anielle from Magick and Mediums. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can start making money with tarot online. You can check out her page for a little bit more practical advice on how to make money with tarot. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more of the bigger picture, individual perspectives and shifts that we can make in order to facilitate the flow of money in our tarot business. So thanks for joining in this video, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first tip that I want to talk about is diversity is key. And what do I mean by that? So diversity is key means that we can't put all of our eggs into one online basket. And so if you start off on a platform, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, it's so important to diversify your presence after you've gotten the ropes down for that platform. Now, I made this problem myself at the beginning of my business because I started off on Instagram in 2020, and I was basically there until this year, 2022, that I'm starting to diversify. I mean, I used Facebook a little bit, but I was almost completely dependent upon Instagram. And while that was great and I was getting clients, obviously, it it was scary because I almost lost my entire account at one point. I have a video about what happened and leaving Instagram and the algorithm. And so when that happened to me, I realized the importance of having a contingency plan and thinking about diversity and thinking about, okay, branching out into other platforms. And so I think that's a really, really, really important topic or theme to think about when you're wanting to make money using tarot online, because it can really easily sabotage, right, your entire business if you all have all of your eggs in one basket and something happens to that platform. Another really important thing in terms of diversity is to have a website, and we don't have to pay a bunch of money. What I do is I pay for a domain, which is not expensive at all. And then I have Google Sites, allows you to link domains to for free to their Google Sites. And so you can have like a free website with your domain attached to it, and it's not going to be like an overwhelming, like really crazy amazing like website, but it's going to do what you need, and it's also going to give you more credibility, and it's going to give people a place to go to learn about you, to learn about your services, where you can even have like newsletters set up so that if anything were to happen to any of the other platforms, you at least have your website down and you can always know that you have that for yourself. And so I think that diversity is really important. And I know that buying a domain requires input, but I think that at the end of the day, it's worth it because it's really not that much that you pay for a domain. And it gives you a better sense of security knowing that you have a place that people can go to. So if you are interested in learning about how to connect your domain to a free Google site, there's a lot of really simple workflows that you can look up on Google, and just a quick Google search on how to do that will teach you everything you need to know about doing that. So I highly suggest taking that time to look into that, and also taking time to diversify your social media presence and start branching out into other platforms. Okay, so tip number 2 is to showcase your personality and tarot knowledge. And while this one might seem pretty obvious, a lot of people miss out on this one. And so this kind of goes hand in hand with diversifying your online presence as well, because if you only post aesthetically pleasing pictures on Instagram with insightful captions, that's only going to get you so far, because people want to see who they're going to get a reading from. They want to know who they are, how they talk, what their vibe is. And so that's why having a like a YouTube channel or on TikTok or going live, whether on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, these are different ways that you can start interacting with your community so they can start seeing who they are going to actually get a reading from. When I started my business, one of my the all most of my first readings were from people that I had done readings for on lives that I was doing on Instagram, and they resonated so much with the message that I gave them that they decided, okay, I'm going to book a reading with this person because I feel this rapport now. I trust this person. And so if you're not about doing either like donation based or like free live readings on Instagram or TikTok, if that's not your jam, then I would suggest maybe doing some YouTube videos and trying to get into the YouTube community and sharing your tarot knowledge about the cards, about spreads, about readings. I'm really inspired by Kellyanne Maddox. She has a YouTube channel where she just expresses herself. She talks about magic, spirituality, tarot, and that's basically what her marketing is, just her being her authentic self on YouTube, expressing, and people resonating with that and then wanting to get a reading with her because they trust her, they've heard her experiences before, and they know her personality, and they also know her tarot knowledge. It's not just about personality, it's about people trusting that you actually have the knowledge to bring an insightful reading to them. And so I think it's really important to showcase yourself, and I think it's really important to allow people to see who you are as a person. If you're really good at bringing out your authenticity through imagery and art and your stories on Instagram and the way that you interact with your community, that's great. Figure out what works best for you, but really the focus when you're thinking about this tip is to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to really showcase who you are and what your knowledge is about the tarot. If you are enjoying this content, please consider subscribing and liking this video. That way my videos can get shared with more people, and I'm really grateful that you're here. So thank you, and let's keep on going. So this last tip is a little bit abstract, and it's got a few layers to it, but this last tip is just be patient. Be patient with the process. Any small business can take up to 5 years to really start taking off. And so, not every small business, and a lot of people actually have quick success with tarot and making money. But I think that it's important to be realistic about the situation, and just like with me, I'm realistic about my situation. And I need to be patient with the process because you can't expect an influx of clients all of the time, and if you have other responsibilities in your life, it can be hard to juggle a tarot business. And so I think it's really important to be patient with the actual process of going pro as a reader, and just know that it takes time to develop these relationships and these connections with clients and people. So don't try to rush things, and don't just try to don't feel negatively or bad or discouraged if you're not making a bunch of money really, really fast. I think it's more important to get your brand and get yourself out there, get yourself within the community, and just allow yourself to be patient with the process. Now, another layer to this be patient tip is, if you are somebody who just recently got into tarot, I would invite you to really be patient with the process of going pro, and make sure that you're giving yourself the adequate time to really be comfortable with tarot and the messages. And like, if you still have to refer back to the book, then I personally don't think that you're ready to go pro. And so really, I think it's hard to say time. That's why I was like 6 months, a year. Like, don't really pay attention to those time frames really, but mostly it's about just not rushing into tarot, because this is it's an important work. It's important work. What we're doing is holding space for people and helping people move through difficult and challenging times in their life, and we want to be responsible with that work. And so I feel like being patient, and not just like because you love tarot so much, trust me, I know the feeling that you just love it so much and you want to share it with other people, you want to share what you've learned with other people. And I think that's a great driving and motivational force. But at the same time, it requires us to be patient and to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, maybe I do need to study a little bit more, or maybe I do need to work a little bit deeper with the cards before I start offering services to other people and start trying to help other people. So this one is more, this part of the be patient is definitely more about you self-assessing where you're at on your tarot journey, and making sure that you're not just jumping onto tarot just because you want to make money or because you want to do other things and you think it would be a great opportunity to do that, which it is a great opportunity to make money, especially on the side. Um, but I think it's just important to be patient with that process too. The final layer to this tip is that you need to be patient with your finances, in the sense that I wouldn't necessarily suggest quitting any sort of part or full-time job you have to pursue this unless you have at least 6 months to a year's worth of savings, so that you're sure that you are covering all of your bases and you have all your bills paid, and you're sure you're giving yourself time for these things to develop. So don't get too excited and jump the gun and start leaving jobs and leaving your security for self-employment, because and this isn't just tarot stuff, this is in general. Small businesses can take some time to get going. So I would suggest to be patient with the process. Maybe even get a part-time if you don't have one, just so that you can support yourself and make sure that you have all your bills paid, so you can buy tarot decks, so that you can still do what you need to do while your tarot business takes off. I think that if we take into account all of those things, we can really form a solid foundation to start making money with tarot online. So make sure that you diversify your online presence. Make sure that you do whatever you need to do to showcase your personality and to showcase your tarot knowledge. And then the 3 layers of being patient that we just talked about are going to be really important through this entire process, so that you can create space for the abundance to come in, instead of like worrying and forcing things to happen because you need the money. So it's important to like incorporate these things into your practice so that you can start making money now, but also so that you can start creating the strong foundation for a stable tarot reading business for yourself. So I hope that these tips helped, and don't forget to check out Anielle's video about the more practical steps that you can take to start making tarot maybe a little bit faster than what we talked about here. And I wish you the best on your professional tarot journeys. Let me know in the comments below if you're thinking about going pro, if you have any questions about going pro. If you are a pro reader, let me know if you have any tips for beginners or any ideas for people wanting to start becoming a professional tarot reader. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I said here. I would just love to start having conversations with you all in the comments. So yeah, I would love to hear what you have to say about this, and I wish you the best of luck and many blessings.